It's the spookiest time of the year. The time we accidentally haunt ourselves and you.
Mm-hmm.
And this might be the episode it happens.
The demon probably wanted to be invited in.
And even as I write this, my ears have started ringing again. I don't know why this entity has attached itself to me.
Unfortunately, the Ouija board showed back up in the house the next day.
What?
We've themed this Encounters episode Demonic
Demons.
Hello.
Greetings.
Welcome to Two Girls, One Ghost.
Two girls, one ghost. And today, these divas of darkness. I think someone once emailed us calling us that, and I really liked it. It just felt natural, and now it doesn't.
No, I was going to say, well, I don't think I like it anymore.
And we are your ghostesses. That is Corinne.
Hi.
I am Sabrina, and today we're getting scary.
Mm-hmm.
It's October, our favorite time of the year. It's the spookiest time of the year. The time we try... Oh, no, we don't even try. We accidentally haunt ourselves and you.
Mm-hmm.
And this might be the episode it happens.
Yeah, because we've themed this Encounters episode Demonic.
Demons.
And scary.
Scary.
I have a long one. Should I start with that one?
Sure.
It's called Hoofprints in the Snow.
Well, I was going to say, should we set some intentions first?
Oh, yeah. Maybe we do that.
Everyone close your eyes. Maybe don't drive while listening to this episode. But if you are, wherever you are protected. We are protected. We are surrounded by love, light, and peace, and nothing with ill intent or of malevolent nature is welcome into our lives. Only good, positive energy and spirits are allowed. I really wanted to say, Amen.
Amen. That's funny because when we started, I almost... Kumbaya, my lord.
Same.
When I close my eyes, I know it's just from all the lights that we have around, but I saw two pairs of like the Cheshire cat eyes, and I was like, ooh, creepy.
I did say we're surrounded by love and light.
Love and light and hoofprints in the snow.
Ugh.
Hello, you two. I hope you're doing well. My name is Sunny, and I've been binging your podcast at work over the last 3 weeks, and I'm absolutely obsessed. You guys are so funny. Your dynamic reminds me of me and my best friend, which is probably why I feel safe enough to tell you about my story.
I physically am preparing myself for something bad.
You will find out. I haven't told many people about what happened in my early teens. Some of my closest friends don't even know this. But those that I have told, I did because I genuinely trust them. High
You
honor.
trust us?
Thank you.
Maybe you shouldn't.
Just that. No, you should. Send us your emails. The events that I'm going to describe were very traumatic for both me and my family, and so I usually get pretty emotional when talking about it. If I ever feel the need to discuss it out with someone, I usually just call my mom, knowing that she feels the exact same way that I do about it all. But I wanted to send you this email because it feels like I'm taking my power back. I'm choosing to tell and warn others about what I went through. I'm going to give you and your listeners, a quick trigger warning. The topic of miscarriage is going to be briefly discussed.
Okay.
I'm not saying this to sound woo-woo, but I've always been able to see and hear things that other people cannot. I have 100 ghost stories that I could unload on both of you, but I think that it's best to start off with this story in particular, seeing as it will probably be pretty cathartic for me to both get it off of my chest, as well as share it with your lovely listeners. I've seen things since I was a baby, and even my devout Christian grandmother has told others in my family that I was, quote, born with one foot on the other side and the other foot in this one.
That's both scary and magical.
Yeah, so magical.
What
Very
a
beautiful.
cool description.
I think that it's very important to keep in mind that I was 13 years old when I first saw what I now disdainfully refer to as the Shadow Man. My parents had just announced their divorce. Womp womp.
It's interesting that the timing is aligned to this. It's something horrible as a child that
Right.
I know a lot of people do go through.
Emotionally.
Yeah.
My parents had just announced their divorce, womp womp, and my mother had begun a relationship with a man that we will call Thomas. My father swiftly moved out of our childhood home, so in between Thomas's visits, it was just my brother, my mother, and myself living there. One night, I awoke with cotton mouth, so I decided to quietly pad my way to the kitchen and get a drink of water. Now, my room was connected to a very long hallway, and at the end of the hallway, you could take a right and go into the living room. If you went left, you would walk down another little hallway that led to the front door and then my father's old computer room. It was faster to get to the kitchen if I turned down the second small hallway, so that is what I did. At the end of the hallway, peeking out from my father's now empty computer room, was a figure. I stood there for a few seconds, waiting for my eyes to adjust, thinking maybe I was just seeing some random apparition that somehow had made its way into the house. I didn't know how to shield yet, so sometimes this would happen. I was waiting to see a face, some clothing, any discernible features, but nothing. This thing was at least 6'2", pitch black, no face, no nothing. Even though the inky black figure didn't have eyes, I knew that it was staring right at me.
That's the worst thing about shadow figures and entities like this. Like, you know.
The feeling of being perceived. Like yes, you know when someone has eyes on you. That's just like a human.
But it's worse when it doesn't have eyes, you know?
Right. But you know,
but you feel
that you're
it
being watched.
Yeah.
All at once, I recognized and understood that this thing was bad. I was standing there like an idiot, frozen in fear for probably 15 whole seconds, too afraid to even blink, and I started to back up, not taking my eyes off of it because I felt like the second I turn around to run back to my room, this thing would run after me.
Oh, that's so scary.
So once I was back around the corner, I turned and I hightailed it, my instincts screaming at me to run, and the shadow man didn't go away after that. It was around every dark corner, whether it be in the grocery store, my friend's house, at school.
Everywhere?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you couldn't escape it.
No. All hope of this entity leaving me alone was gone after my first full week. My mental health plummeted. My depression was exacerbated by the paranormal attack that I was now under. And worst of all, I couldn't tell anyone about what was happening.
Why not?
I knew that my mom would probably see it as a desperate attempt for me to get attention because of the divorce, and that my friends would just call me crazy. I felt crazy. Maybe it's all in my head. Maybe I should get evaluated for schizophrenia. Thomas, my mom's new boyfriend, was super into the occult.
Is Thomas the reason for all of this?
Maybe.
Okay. I'll reserve my hatred for Thomas until I know I should hate him.
We'll pause for one moment. His mother passed away when he was in college, and instead of going the whole, if God could let my mom die this way, then he isn't real route, instead he went on a full fuck that guy route. He loved reading about darker forms of paganism, and because of this, he was pretty well versed in it and pretty well versed when it came to demons. He approached me one day, completely out of the blue, and asked me point blank if things had been happening to me recently. I was still getting to know him at this point and had directed a lot of my teenage rage at him, but in this moment, I told him everything. I spilled my guts would be an understatement. It felt like someone was finally vindicating me. Finally, once I was done, he told me that he had this strange dream the night before. In the dream, he was in mine and my younger brother's shared bedroom, standing in front of the mirror. He described seeing this creature on the other side of the mirror as this grotesque creature, but he didn't go into any further detail.
Oh, no.
Thomas explained that he asked the creature for its name multiple times, demanding that it tell him. Finally, he said the thing pressed a finger against the mirror and wrote out the letters. And you don't have to say this part out loud. I genuinely don't want you to invoke this thing, but I'll tell you its name. Do I say it?
I feel like we have to.
I'll spell it. Azazel.
Okay.
I was 13. I had no clue what to do with this information. I was terrified. Thomas then let me know that he got this feeling that the demon was after me in particular. And I cannot tell you how hard I cried that night.
This is terrifying. Like, she has not told a single person. And now this new person in her life
that she doesn't really know
is confirming it.
Yeah.
And making it even more terrifying.
I'd be wary of like both him and this other creature.
I trust no one.
Yeah, trust no one. But also it's like,
but that's also what the thing wants.
Exactly.
Oh, I'm just going to grunt in response to everything for the rest of this episode.
Hearing this, though, I didn't feel alone anymore. I didn't feel like I was crazy, but honestly, I would have preferred that to whatever the hell was going on now. Thankfully, my mother announced that we were going to be moving with Thomas to Kentucky since he'd gotten a great job opportunity.
Congrats, Thomas.
Congrats. I was sad to leave my friends and my family, but honestly, I mostly felt relief. I thought that the second that I moved, I would be free of this thing. There was absolutely no way that this thing would follow me and my family over multiple states. Right?
Wrong.
I was excited to be in this new house. It
I
was
gave
way
myself
nicer.
chills. I like literally just got head
It came
chills.
from like
yeah.
deep within you. This new house was way nicer than the brick ranch style home that I'd grown up in, so I was pretty pumped to have an upstairs bedroom for the first time. And for the first few days, it felt like the weight had been lifted off of my shoulders. I wasn't seeing the shadow man anymore. My mom genuinely seemed happy for the first time in years.
That's
And
nice.
my brother seemed really excited to have a bigger room. Life was good until it wasn't.
Yeah.
One night, I was taking a shower and I started hearing a man singing outside of my door. I thought, well, maybe it's possibly Thomas. Maybe he's singing something on the way back from talking to my little brother. And for a few minutes, I paid the singing no mind. But the singing didn't stop. It sounded like it was happening right outside of the bathroom. With suds still in my hair, I got out of the shower. I put my hand on the doorknob to wrench it open, and all of a sudden, the singing stopped. My blood ran cold, and I opened the door regardless, and no one was there. I quickly rinsed myself off, and I ran to my room. After that strange, unexplainable instance, I started to hear more things, specifically something in the attic. It sounded like a large raccoon walking back and forth along the expanse of the entire house, back and forth and back and forth. It went on for what seemed like all night, and it was so loud and so unsettling, I found it hard to fall asleep most nights. It wasn't until I found a mouse in my room that I finally told my mom what we had.
A mouse in the
What
room?
I assumed was a pest problem. I wouldn't...
Yeah, was it live or was it dead? Because if it's dead, I feel like that's a omen.
Ooh, I don't know. I wouldn't have been surprised if we had a mouse problem, seeing as the house that we were now living in had been built in the 1930s. And my mom was really quick to call the landlord, who almost immediately sent a pest control company out. They checked every single inch of the house, but they found nothing. No droppings, no open spaces for anything to get in, no nests. There was no living animal in this house. Shortly after this, I began to feel incredibly self-conscious and overly aware of my surroundings.
That's how I feel this entire time we've been reading this story. Yeah.
You know how you can sometimes feel like someone's staring at you from across the room? Well, yeah, I felt like that all the time, 24/7. I began undressing and changing my clothes under my bed comforter, overtly aware that someone was watching.
Oh, that's so sad.
Showering became a thing in nightmares. This was something I found incredibly embarrassing, and I was freshly 13, was just growing into my body, and the last thing I wanted to do was to tell Thomas or my mom, I think there's a ghost or demon staring at me, and now I'm afraid to be naked. As mentioned previously, I had a hard time falling asleep at night, and usually I spent hours just laying in bed listening to the house. One night, I could hear loud noises coming from my little brother's room. He was just starting his first day at his new elementary school the next morning, so I was quick to stand up and head to his bedroom so I could make sure that he was getting proper rest. When I opened the door to his bedroom, I saw that he was in his bed, fast asleep. But there was something very wrong with his room. Every single drawer in his room was open. He had both a dresser to organize his clothes as well as an old writing desk that he used to keep a lot of his toys, and every single drawer wide open. At that point, I saw the situation for what it was. I felt like this thing was showing me that it could do things to my family as well. Around this time, my mother had announced that she was pregnant. It was only then that I knew I had to tell her what was going on. I finally sat my mom down. I told her everything from the top, and I could tell that she wasn't quite believing me, which was fine. I felt like she needed to know that there were unexplainable things happening and that I felt like now we were all in physical danger.
Yeah.
She tried to explain everything away and insisted the house was safe, but she could tell that I wasn't being the same as of recently. She offered to start taking me to therapy, thinking maybe that would help me.
Which I appreciate, because it could be that, you know?
Right, and it's like a lot of life changes.
Yeah.
You're
The divorce,
you're moving, now you're
turning 13.
Expecting.
Yeah.
You're going through puberty, there's new schools, you're feeling emotionally responsible for your brother having an okay time too and adjusting. There's a lot.
Yeah.
Days after that, my mother had to go into the basement to bring up a box of winter jackets, seeing as it was about to snow and we would all need to wear our heavier winter clothing. She told me that the second her foot hit the first step, she heard an inhuman growl so close to her face that she expected to feel its breath.
This is wild because up until this point, she had not experienced anything. But the moment
she doesn't believe in it. Yeah, the moment she says, I don't.
Yeah. Wow.
It kind of reminds me of like the
Conjuring
horror movie.
Film. Yeah.
Yeah.
Every possession case that we've ever talked about.
My mom immediately told me what happened to her. And what do you know? Now she believed me. It snowed the next night, which was very exciting for me. I grew up in South Carolina and I rarely got to see any snow. and definitely didn't get to play in any of it during the winter months, so my brother and I went outside the next morning so that we could play in the snow. We walked around to the front of the house for a while, and then we started to walk further up the yard so that we could trek around the neighborhood. Something caught my eye in the snow, though. Footprints that started at a particularly snow-free sidewalk and made its way into our yard. But these were not human prints. They were very distinct hooves in the snow. I followed the prints through the yard, getting that feeling again, all the way to the window to the side of the house.
No.
It was a big bay window that
No.
looked directly into the living room. The hoof prints then led to the side of the fence, and then they disappeared. Keep in mind, this was a privacy fence. It was solid wood. It was over 6 feet tall. There was no gate, and the prints quite literally disappeared. So it's like not a deer.
Well, it's also they're sitting at, like they started in the middle of a sidewalk, meaning that it had been standing at the edge of the property, literally staring into the home, and then slowly creeped its way closer and closer, and then somehow went through a privacy fence.
Or jumped it.
Or vanished into thin air.
It literally looked like whatever had been walking there just randomly blinked out of existence. I ran inside and got my mom, who quickly followed after me, and she saw the horror on my face. And my mom was actually the one to make the bone-chilling discovery that these prints in the snow looked like they were in a set of 2, almost like the creature had been walking on its hind legs.
Ugh.
It's important for me to tell you that we moved to Lexington, Kentucky, and our house was in a neighborhood directly in front of the downtown area. The only trees around us were those that had been planted there purposefully. There were no woods for miles and miles, meaning that there's no way that this would be deer prints. A few weeks later, my mom started having really bad dreams. She dreamed that there was a creature that would sit on her stomach while she was laying in bed. It was a reoccurring dream, and this is where things get sad. Not long after my mom started having these dreams, she lost the baby.
Oh.
And she feels to this day that the demon is to blame.
I'm so sorry.
My mom and Thomas started looking into mediums, exorcists, anything that we could do to get rid of this thing after all. In the days that followed, the activity in the house started to slow, but the eerie, nefarious energy, well, that stayed the same. The day that the demonic activity finally stopped is fully engraved into my mind. I was in my room, sketching something in my bed, when suddenly there were 3 loud knocks. It wasn't very loud, but I'm afraid of the hurting the table. I flew up from my bed thinking that this was my little brother, and I yanked the door open so that I could bitch him out for interrupting me. And once again, there was no one there. My brother was in his room, door closed, playing a video game. The knocks were so loud that my mom and Thomas could hear it downstairs in their room on the opposite end of the house. I flew down the stairs. I told them what happened while shaking and was quickly asked by Thomas whether or not I had said anything in regards to the knocks. Did you say, come in? No, I hadn't. Thank the universe for that. The demon probably wanted to be invited in. Specifically, he wanted me to invite him in.
I literally have to burp. Like, my body is rejecting this story.
Like, purging everything from
Don't let it
inside
in. Yeah.
Thomas, after everything that was going on, asked me if we had any red candles in the house. And we did, so we went out to the front porch, letting it be known that he didn't want anyone to come inside or to look out the window. Creepy, but whatever happened, it worked. I'm a practicing witch, and I still have no clue what he actually did on the porch that day. I'm guessing his morbid interest in the occult finally came in handy. Oh, I'm so curious, too.
I'm glad I reserved my despising Thomas because I like Thomas. I'm Team Thomas. I was nervous.
Well, because, like, think of the setting. Like, he's a new guy in the life. Suddenly, his interests seem to be manifesting around this new family.
His moving into the home seems to align with the time that this entity started following her. So I'm like,
they're still getting to know each other. She hasn't even told her own mom, but now she's suddenly confiding in this like older man, some secrets. Like it plays out nicely, but it had the ingredients to go a different way.
Yeah.
The days that followed were unlike anything I had experienced in a full year. I felt peace. The sinister air that was in the house, completely gone. I no longer felt like I had to hide, and my mental health improved nearly instantaneously.
Whoa.
And best yet, I was finally getting some sleep again.
Oh, that makes me so happy for you, Sunny.
A few months after the dust had settled, I decided to do some research about the demon. I quickly Google searched.
Literally, as you said that sentence, I got like a sharp pain in my heart, and it makes me want to say to people to not look up this entity.
Yeah.
but I want to hear what.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what it is.
Yeah, well, you don't have to do it.
You don't have to because Sunny did. A quick Google search provided me with the final piece of this morbid puzzle. The demon that had written its name into the mirror, the same one that I suspected had followed us from Kentucky, was known as the scapegoat demon. All pictures of this horrific creature depict it having a torso of an older man and the legs of a goat.
I'm not kidding. As you've been just since that sentence of looking it up, my heart has been like a stabbing feeling.
So we shouldn't look it up.
I don't know. I mean, even just talking about it is making me feel some certain way.
Well, Sunny said we shouldn't even say the name out loud, so I'm going to listen. It was impossible not to think back to that snowy morning with the hoof prints leading up to our living room window. And I know it had been there watching us, perhaps all along. Thank you both for everything you do once again. I know that it probably feels really good for most people that write into you to have their stories just lifted off of their chest. My story is both long and unbelievably dramatic, but I swear to everyone, this is 100% real.
Yeah, not dramatic.
I really wish it wasn't.
Not dramatic in a, oh, it's too much. No, like dramatic in a, this is terrifying and could be a movie.
Love and light to both of you, Sunny.
I feel very drawn to doing this, and it's probably just like an internal thought that I need to do, but I actually do feel better. Maybe because I allowed my intrusive thought to win.
Bells both bring in spirits, but also cleanse the space.
Yeah.
But these have good energy because these are quite literally my wedding bells.
Do I like bell? Am I a bell
girl? Do you like bells?
That was really, really satisfying.
Should you do sound cleansing now?
Every morning, just ring a bell.
Ow!
What did you do?
I tried to pick out the thing, but then I tried to go over, but the heat was still too much.
I will say these flames, the heat really, it goes
high.
I feel it still.
Yeah, me too. Whoa.
Fire.
Would you light my candle?
That was beautiful.
Thank you.
You saw Rent recently, haven't you?
I did, and I'll admit to everyone, so I saw Rent at the North Shore Community Theater, Community Center, whatever it's called, which is a really, really cool round theater. I think it's the only one in existence still in the U.S. Or there's some cool stat about that. Yeah. I'm butchering everything so far. But I went and saw Rent at the Kelseys. They had, they bought the tickets, and I didn't look up anything about the cast. I fully thought it was local community theater, and we were going to go watch them do Rent. And after I walked away, and I was talking to Kelsey, and I was like, these people are so talented. I cannot believe people just exist in all these places.
They live amongst us?
Yeah. I was like, how are 4 of these people not having recording deals? This is so crazy that these people are just here. And then I went to Instagram stalk them, and it was this person was in Six, the musical on Broadway, and this person was in Kinky Boots.
Broadway stars.
They are, I saw Broadway stars thinking that they were local community theater.
But it's better than the alternative or the reverse of that, where you think you're going to see Broadway theater and then you see community theater people.
Oh, yeah, that's
nothing against community theater people. I was a community theater person my whole life.
Yeah, stars have to be born somewhere.
Exactly. And this is not about a star. I mean, the star of the show actually is Slender Man of the story.
Oh my God.
Okay. This is from our listener, Liv. Hi, girls. I love the podcast so much. I've been listening for a few years now, and I am completely hooked. My name is Liv. Please say my name. Liv didn't say that. Liv just said you can say my name.
Oh, please say my name.
This is the story of the time I met Slender Man. The year was 2021. I had just found a new interest in spirituality, the occult, all things strange and spooky. But I had grown up Catholic, so hearing the miraculous stories in the Bible made me more curious about spirituality. But I had always been a spooky person, ever since I could really remember. This might have something to do with my great aunts being witches.
How very Sabrina the Teenage Witch of you.
Very.
And practical magic.
Also, I think growing up, I was just naturally drawn to things not of this world. Anyway, back to 2021. I really began harnessing my physical abilities. Nope, my psychic abilities. I really became fit. I was working out all the time. I was in the gym. I learned how to astral project. I learned all about witchcraft. It was truly a blast. Except for this one day. I live on the east end of Long Island on the countryside. And on occasion, I take long walks by the farm fields and through the forests. Beautiful. But on this day, sometime in April, I decided to go for a walk. It was my usual route, and something felt different. I could feel presences all around. It was a foggy day, the sky was dark and gray, the fields were covered in a thick blanket of fog, and I was almost home when there, I saw it. About half a soccer field distance from me was this lanky, pitch black creature with long limbs and no face. Its body was as dark as night, but its face was just a white oval, like it was wearing a mask or something. Every time we're like describing how these entities, like truly in this episode, I'm getting in my heart in the exact same spot or in my boob.
Maybe you need to be more
protected.
I feel nothing, which maybe is a good thing.
Amen.
The Catholicism, it's returning.
Will always be a part of me. This thing seemed to be about 12 feet tall, and it was walking right towards me. There was no place to run, no place to hide. There was nobody around, not even cars passing by. It was just me and this thing. I stopped for a second, my breathing becoming heavier. Something inside of me kept saying, keep walking. And so this thing and I were walking towards each other. I could feel its energy. Cold, unfamiliar, lost, powerful. Mm-hmm. In this moment, I remembered that this one witch book taught me. It said to protect your energy, picture yourself in a bubble of white light. So that's exactly what I did. And if you're feeling weird like I am, maybe that's what you should do right now. As this entity and I walked towards each other, it was about 20 feet away from me. I continued to picture myself in a bubble of white light.
Good. It's not unsimilar to the ribbon wrapping.
Yeah, no, it feels very similar.
Feeling protected and having this glowing thing around you.
Finally, it evaporated. With tears in my eyes, I tried my best to confidently march the whole way home. I wanted to give off a vibe that said, you can't hurt me, if Slendy ever did randomly pop back up during my walk. And I know it sounds kind of crazy, but I could feel the presence of either my spirit guides or my ancestors behind me. That's not crazy. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I got home safe and sound, but every now and then for the next few months, I would see the creature only on this one road.
Ew.
So was the road a portal? Was this dude just passing through? Anyway, a few years went by and I have this dream where I'm walking through town trying to talk to people, but no one's responding. They all look at me like I'm an alien or something. So I start to walk through the forest when I see this Slender Man yet again. And this time in the dream, he's chasing me. It is a malevolent spirit, and I could feel the energy like a storm coming closer and closer to my astral body. I trip and fall on a pile of leaves, and then he's just leering over me. I could start to feel myself wake up, except I'm unable to move. And at this point, I'm realizing I'm both in a dream and awake, having sleep paralysis. In the dream, I'm screaming at the top of my lungs, help, help. But I could hear my body only whispering it. Help, help. I could feel tears streaming down my cheeks as my statue-like body lay there, paralyzed, helpless. But in the dream, I'm wailing, screaming, trying my best to pull myself from the forest floor and swat the creature away. But it kept coming closer. And I heard a voice inside me say, pray. And immediately I start praying the Hail Mary. With just a few words of the prayer, I was zapped awake. And I saw the creature hovering over my bed for a moment, and then, poof, it evaporated. I had full feeling in my body, and I continued praying. I gathered all my crystals, I put them around me, and I never had an encounter with this thing again. See you on the other side, Liv.
Oh my God.
You know what that reminds me of so much? There was one time, and I've shared this on the podcast before, but when I was with Nick, and it was early days of the podcast, and he woke up in the middle of the night, I was sound asleep, to a voice saying, pray for her. She needs your help. And he started saying the Our Father, and the voice, it was like a female voice, said, wrong prayer. He started saying the Hail Mary, which is the same prayer that Liv said.
Ooh, I have chills.
And it started to get lighter, and he kept repeating it.
What is this? I will say, I do appreciate that Liv felt everyone behind her, all of her protective ancestors and guardians and everything, because it did feel like whatever she was about to battle, she had backup.
She did, and it protected her in that moment, saying to pray. Which I think in that moment, when you hear a voice of your ancestors saying to do something, I believe that they're doing it as well, but they need you to harness that power.
It's like everyone hold hands and your power is stronger.
Yeah. My left tit. I know it's my heart, but it feels like I'm grabbing my tit.
Oh.
I truly, it's gotten worse ever since that one moment where you said that Sunny was looking it up
on Google.
And then you started describing it. Okay, hopefully there's no more descriptions of these terrifying entities.
I'm like, I don't know what else to do for you.
Watch what happens live. I guess not live.
I feel like normally we both experience the same thing, but now it definitely feels more targeted too, because I feel completely
You're all good.
normal.
Alara is in the room. I do feel bad
Do you want to hold her? Would she make you feel better?
Well, I feel bad for her because I wonder if I'm picking up on her anxieties because she
Oh.
doesn't want this.
Right, because these are spooky tales for her.
Okay, maybe I'll just speak to Alara real quick. These are just stories. No one can harm us because we are protected.
Mhm.
We have plenty of protective spirit guides, guardians, ancestors behind us in the same way that Liv does. And Alara, I will make sure to bring you home. We'll bless. Bless.
Thank you. See, so many blessings, Alara.
Oh, look at all the blessings. And I'll take you outside in the sun after this.
Perfect. This is a story called Haunted Childhood Home / Possessions / The Little Ghost Boy. Ooh, I'm already tongue-tied. Hello, my gorgeous ghost enthusiasts. As one usually starts off with saying how much they love you, I will too.
Great.
My wife and I have been obsessed with you both for the few months that we've been listening. We're newer, but we've watched plenty already. You guys feel like home, like our sisters coming into our room for a chat.
Ooh.
I love that.
Hi.
Here to
Cozy
tell
on
you
up.
a ghost story.
I have to
That
tell you
actually-
this horrifying story. Oh, you just heard.
That reminds me of when my brother there were like a few people over, like staying at our house. Some were going to be in the guest room, Christian had his room, and like people were scattered. And I walked into the guest room and they were all hanging out, and they like asked about the hauntings. And I was like, oh, it's fine. And then I just told a couple like small stories.
Which were fine to you, but terrifying.
Which were totally fine to me. I was
everyone
like, you're not going to be like, the only things that happen in this room are like, blah, 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 blah. Everyone slept together in the guest room. And it was like mixed genders too. It was like,
no, like we're staying
everyone
huddled together.
was together in the guest room. I didn't know until the next morning when my mom was like, everyone slept in the same room with the lights on
scared
and
the
like
shit out of
basically
everyone.
didn't sleep. Everyone's so scared down at breakfast. I was
That's
like, "Oops,
hilarious.
my bad."
I love that.
Okay, on to my spooks. My name is Mia, she, her, 20 years old. And for the first 9 years of my life, I lived in a haunted house in New Jersey.
Hey. Now my head hurts.
Wow.
This is a heavy episode.
Yeah.
I'm feeling it. I wonder if anyone else is feeling it.
I know, because normally people do.
Yeah.
People pick up on it really easily.
Yeah.
Well, guys.
Sorry. We warned you. Or you're welcome. I don't know. Maybe
Our
that's
dear
like what you
friend-
want.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe I'll call you by your old Patreon name, Kitty Cat. This one is not for you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't listen.
So if you're listening, maybe stop. Or
It's
do
too late.
something.
I don't
It's
know.
too late. I didn't say it at the top. Okay. How did my house get haunted, you may ask? Well, it was all of my grandma's fault. Seriously. What I'm about to tell you is going to make you shake your head so hard. It started with a Ouija board. Sma. My grandma and her cousins decided one day that they were going to play a Ouija board in the house. I wonder how old her grandma was, because I'm picturing like a bunch of old ladies
like
getting together.
75-year-old
Yeah,
women.
they're like, oh, do you want to come over for like some tea, some brunch,
Yeah.
a coffee, or whatever, coffee pastries? We'll do a Ouija session.
Yeah. Yeah. Typical.
And then go get our hair done.
Put our curlers in.
Through the Ouija board, a little boy named Christopher showed up. I wish I had more details of the little boy, how he died, what he liked, etc. But all my grandma remembers from that was that he loved Switzerland.
Was he a little boy?
I
I don't know where this is going.
If we ever got to go there, he really wanted to come.
That's cute.
And he now thinks of my grandma as his mom. So sweet, right? Yeah, well, that was until this little boy started fucking with me in my own house. Oh, did I forget to mention that my grandma never said goodbye on the Ouija board? She just threw it away. Unfortunately, the Ouija board showed back up in the house the next day.
What?
So my grandma then burned it. Thank you, Grandma.
No.
Instead of saying goodbye again.
It literally showed up back in the house.
Mhm.
How does that happen?
I don't know.
Why do we hear too many stories like that?
I know. It's really freaky. Anyway, I remember so clearly that my cousin and I were watching my little brother at the house one day because my parents were sleeping. She said sleeping out. Does that mean like sleeping away? Like
They were out of town.
Out of town.
Yeah.
To venture off a little bit, before this night of babysitting, we have always been scared of this house. There was a certain darkness and a heavy feeling that everyone who ever stepped foot in this house felt as soon as they walked in. There were constant noises, and I never really could chalk it up to just being house noises. But things would go missing way too often to just be missing, right? I wish I could explain it almost as if the house was eating our items.
Ugh.
Toys would go off all the time with no one near them. And so on this night, my cousin and I were babysitting my little brother. My parents left late that afternoon, but not quite at dinner time. So to kill time before dinner, We were playing with him in the living room. He was 1 at the time, so after some playing, he started to get a little fussy and we knew that maybe he was getting hungry. Before dinner, we straightened up the couch for us, his crib for the night, and we picked up every last toy that was out.
Look at you guys cleaning.
I know. Such good babysitters. I repeat, every last toy was picked up and put away in a cubby. We made noodles with butter for all 3 of us, and we ate. While we were eating, it was normal. We heard nothing. We go back into the living room, and I shit you not, every single toy was dumped out of the cubby. Not in a neat pile, not like the cubby just fell and the toys fell out. These toys were everywhere.
Okay,
The
so there's a
cubby
ghost
was
that likes
upright.
toys.
The little boy.
Yeah.
It was as if someone had been playing with them. Even toys that my brother hasn't touched for months. Toys that if you touch, they would sing or talk, but we heard nothing. Ugh, fucking Christopher. So we called our grandma really quick to come get us all because we were so freaked out that night. This next story is short, but the last one will definitely make up for it. Our house was built in 1959 by Mr. and Mrs. Newton. My family still owns it. I don't live there, but my uncle does now. And we were the second owners of this house, not the first. But if not for the dark energy, the house would have been so beautiful. There's 2 stories, 5 bedrooms, I believe, 1 bath, 2-car garage, beautiful front and back fenced-in yards, a giant, beautiful oak tree. I spent most of my time there in the tree. Whether that be swinging from the rope swing that we had on it or setting up a ladder to climb onto the lowest, thickest branch. Being outside made me feel much more at ease.
So nice.
Because of the inside.
Ugh.
On top of the haunted house, my mom is also an addict, so that made life not so fun. But like any other day, I put on my beat-up zebra print DCS, laced them up. Oh my God, did you have those shoes?
Mm-mm.
I like begged my mom for them. Or I said DCS, but it's the DCs.
Yeah.
I had brown ones. Laced them up, headed out to my safe space, and I remember this so clearly. I walked out the front door, and by my tree, I saw Mr. and Mrs. Newton. The man was tall, skinny, had on what looked to be an old-timey suit. The woman had this beautiful long braid and a wedding dress. At the time, I had no idea who these people were, so obviously you see strangers in your yard and you're like, okay, I'm going to go book it inside.
Yeah.
But when I got inside and I closed the door, I thought, why did they look so foggy? Why did they look so faded? Why did they look almost see-through? So after that, I locked the door. I ran to the other side of the house where the tree would be to look outside of the window, and these people were gone. When I told my grandma about this, because my grandma was my confidant and my best friend, she just said, oh yeah, that's the Newtons. This is their house.
But I do love that the Newtons are still hanging around.
Right? And watching from the big oak tree.
Yeah.
Probably just taking care of you. Okay. Well, I never saw them again, but
They saw you.
these next stories definitely get darker. Trigger warning for a detailed possession, detailed seizures, and detailed substance abuse.
Oh no. Ugh.
Backstory, my mom has been in active addiction for nearly 30 years.
Mm.
She's been clean in between, but it never lasts long.
I'm really sorry. That's tough.
Now, Sabrina, Corinne, I know you just said sorry to me. And
Bitch,
I love you.
Are you a witch?
And I love you, but do not be sorry. It's okay. I've healed, I've coped, but this really is an important factor to this story.
Okay.
I know what my mother looks like on drugs. And my mom has had multiple seizures in this house and in front of me, so I know also what that looks like. It's not always the same, but she's had different types of seizures, so I know the difference. My mom, my little brother, and me, we were upstairs trying to go to bed, and now upstairs wasn't accessible for the first 6 to 7 years that we lived there. No idea why, but no one ever went up there. I'm talking about the door was fucking bolted shut, and no one ever asked about it. So anyway, my mom, my dad left at this point, finally got the upstairs all cleaned and sorted, and we were all sleeping upstairs. Something kind of woke me up. I was now a bit dazed, but awake, and I hear the Frozen DVD playing over and over, and then I hear a faint mumble. I thought maybe it was the DVD player, and I kept hearing someone mumbling, and it sounded like someone was hurt. Was it my mom?
I have a pain on my right side of my head right now.
I do too. Mine's like in the center of my head right now. I turn over and my mom is pointing to the corner of the dark room and she is mumbling. I cannot make out anything. And the mumbling is not consistent either. Her eyes are wide fucking open, by the way. At first, I really didn't make anything of it. I thought maybe she was just sleep talking or something. I don't know. Weird shit happens in this house. I would say, Mom, what? What did you say, Mom? Are you okay? No answer to my questions, just more mumbling. Meanwhile, my brother is gripping onto her for dear life. So now I'm like, all right, I got to go downstairs and get my older brother and see if he can figure out what she's saying. So we go back upstairs, literally 2 seconds later. We get there, she shoots up and is literally speaking in Latin or tongues, or I don't know. But it was really fast, and the words I have never heard before, sounds I didn't even know my mom could make, and this is deep. She's pointing in the corner of the room. My little brother's still holding on to her. We snatched him right after that so she didn't do any crazy shit. And we're all freaking out. We ran so fast downstairs, we literally called the ambulance when we went downstairs because we had no idea what to do. And do you want to know what they said? They said, oh, she's having a seizure. I beg your finest fucking pardon. I think she was possessed. And I full-heartedly believe that. That was no seizure. My skeptical older brother made us sleep in his room that night, and he would not go upstairs to get his school bag. Eventually, my mom moved out of that room, also a time of brief sobriety, and she said that it felt like something was watching her in the corner when she was in that room. While we still lived there, there was a time that we had a medium come and bless the house, but that did not help. The house actually got more violent.
I was going to say,
towards the end of our
sometimes it
stay.
gets worse.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they should never have unbolted that floor.
Right? What was...
Well, it was closed for a reason.
Yeah. We had plenty of people living there. Me, my mom, my little brother, my older brother, my sister-in-law. One night, my sister-in-law went to go take a bath. She was pregnant, and Corinne, I'm sure you know, but them nipples be sore. She turned on the bath water. That didn't stay warm for more than maybe 2 minutes, so she turned around, and she saw a black figure with a huge smile in the mirror of the bathroom. She screamed so
Oh my
loud
God.
that the mirror actually shattered and a piece almost pierced her stomach.
I don't think her scream pierced the I think whatever entity it was in the mirror and shattered and came out.
She never went back into that house. My final story is the story that truly made everyone leave. It's nighttime. Summer going into 4th grade. Just another random day. My mom usually lit candles in her bedroom to help calm herself during the night. We're sitting on her bed. The room is super still. It actually felt peaceful for a brief moment. And that never happened. So I should have known. The 100-pound mirror that we had literally flew off the wall and knocked down 3 candles. The rug started to burn, and then it started to catch on fire. The fire was small, so it was easy for us to put out. And then we run downstairs. My mom grabbed her purse and went to the car, but the car is locked. The keys are inside of the locked car. So now it's pitch black. We're outside with no way in the house or into the car. Wonderful. But by the grace of some angels, we call AAA. We call my grandma. We call my grandpa. Shit, we even called my dad, who was separated from my mom at this point.
I like that AAA. It's like the first one.
Yeah, first
Triple Angels
of AAA. And we were out of there within 15 minutes. I never went back to that house. My uncle still lives there, and I have no idea if there's any activity now or if it was attached to someone or something that maybe previously was in the house. We just may never know. And I don't know if I want to know. Thank you so much for giving my story your precious time. I hope to see you on this side and the other with all the love and light, Mia.
Well, Mia, I'm very glad that you're out of that house. It almost feels like something wanted to burn the house down, to be like, this house should no longer stand.
Or try to burn with them in it.
Either way.
Because it makes me scared because, like, I know that it's possible, obviously, that the car just, like, got locked with the keys in it, you know, forgetting. You, like, walk out of the car, click it from the inside, close it, forget your keys are inside. But it also makes me think, like, what if it locked the car and it was also planning on locking the house and keeping them inside while the fire grew?
Well, that didn't happen, and that's good.
And that's the silver lining.
Okay, I'm going to read one from our listener, Mandy. And no, there is no heartwarming story. There's no way to end this with heartwarming. It is called A Demon Followed Me Home and is now trying to drag me to hell in my sleep.
Oh my God.
Hi, girls. First,
hi. Are you okay?
I have to tell you, I love the podcast. As someone with only a few spooky friends deep in the Bible Belt, I'm very grateful for the safe space you guys have created. But enough chit chat now for the story. A little background. I grew up a spooky kid. I would see things all the time while growing up in my childhood home that I am absolutely certain was haunted. Emails on that to come. I would watch ghost shows with my mom, who isn't a believer but chose to support her scary little child who had a weird obsession with dead people. I eventually grew out of, in quotes, seeing things, but I kept the spooky spirit. But being in the South and having a smaller friend group, I never really found the courage to go ghost hunting or paranormal investigating until later in my life. So now, about a year ago, I made a new friend who we will call Kayla for the sake of the story. And Kayla is sensitive to spirits. We immediately bonded over our love for the paranormal, and within a couple of months of knowing one another, we scheduled our first, and as you'll come to find out, only ghost hunt.
Oh, I'm bummed for you.
It wasn't very official, just some EMF readers and a spirit box, but we were so excited for the experience in general. Since we didn't really know what we were doing, we kind of just traveled around to public areas that we knew had haunted reputations and investigated for an hour or two. Then we would move on to the next place. We ended up going to 2 locations that night. The first, nothing really happened. We got a few responses on the spirit box, but nothing to note. So we moved on. And the next location is where things got interesting. We went to this old little historical house out in the middle of nowhere, which, bad idea. We were a little spooked by people driving by, so we decided to stay in my car. Kayla kept saying she had a really weird feeling about this place. When I asked her what she was feeling, she couldn't tell me, just that it was coming from the front of our car. Now, for context, this house was just a standard old farmhouse you'd find in any southern town, but it was surrounded by deep, dark woods. The way that our car was parked, the house and the road were on the right, and our car was facing the woods that wrapped around the house. We started the Estes method. In spite of what Kayla was feeling, I was the one with the headphones and Kayla was asking the questions. As it was happening, to me, it was like nothing of note came out. I was definitely feeling a little tired and almost in a trance, as you do with the Estes method. I figured that was normal when you're listening to a bunch of white noise with some faint words. That was until Kayla frantically began tapping my shoulder. "We need to go," she said. When I asked her why, I could see the discomfort in her face and she wouldn't answer. She just wanted to get out as fast as possible. Obviously, I agreed because she was very clearly frightened. And as I started to gather my stuff from the backseat, Kayla gasped. When I turned back to see what was happening, she was staring into the woods, eyes wide. As I followed her gaze, my eyes landed on what hers were seeing. A shadow leaning down in the tree line, peering at us. When I tell you we hightailed it out of there so fast, a cloud of dust was literally all that was left. When we got back, we debriefed about what happened. Apparently, during the Estes method, Kayla kept seeing this thing darting in the woods. It was just a shadow, and she had convinced herself it was just the cars passing by. So she asked out loud if the spirit was nice. And when you're doing the Estes method, your senses are all out, so she can't hear what Kayla's asking.
Right.
When Kayla asked if the spirit was nice, I responded no. She asked if we were welcome here, and I spoke something along the lines of, "Come in."
Ooh.
All of my responses made sense to Kayla, and they all seemed very distressing. This encounter happened months ago, but I now fear something may have followed me out of there because for a while after, I'd get raging headaches out of nowhere. I never had migraines before this, and I've always been very hydrated, but my ears would start ringing randomly, specifically when I was around Kayla. And over the last few weeks, it has been getting much, much worse. I've been having nightmares and maybe even sleepwalking. I don't know what's happening to me. These experiences don't feel like they're happening in my sleep. Most of the time, they feel like I'm fully awake. But I'll be laying in bed, almost falling asleep, when I start to feel my body being pulled. Not off the bed like in a horror movie when demons grab at your little toesies, but no, I feel like I'm being pulled down, through my bed.
Oh, yeah.
I can feel arms grasping at me, and I'm somewhere in between being asleep and being conscious.
It's like almost the reverse of astral projection where like your body floats above you and it's just like being dragged down.
Into like a void. It's like, get out.
The back of you.
Ugh. I'm somewhere in between being asleep and being conscious, so it takes me a minute to understand what is happening. But when I do, I just start praying. I'm not religious, but I know I'll try whatever I need to get out of this grasp. And I have a feeling that I'm being taken somewhere that I will be unable to leave if they succeed in taking me there. Every time I ask for protection from this entity, the feeling stops. I wake up, obviously afraid, but relieved. But each time I wake up, something is wrong. I've started to move things in my sleep, which I've never done before. I don't remember moving anything, but when I wake up, items next to my bed will be turned on their side, they'll be totally upside down, or completely off the table. I have never moved in my sleep. I do not know what this entity is trying to do or if it's an entity at all. The only thing I know is that I hate it and I'm afraid. And even as I write this, my ears have started ringing again. I don't know why this entity has attached itself to me rather than Kayla, but it's the only explanation that makes sense to me. Any tips would be appreciated. Love you girls. Stay spooky. Mandy.
Ew.
So this is an ongoing thing.
Yeah. This is the worst one to end on because this one has no closure. All of the other ones were like, and then I moved, or and then this thing happened. Well, I think we can look to all of the stories that came before too and look at some of the rituals and the things that they did. And perhaps those are things that might resonate with you that
But
you could
I also
try.
think we can offer protection, do like a little protective offering to Mandy and anyone who's listening. And I think Mandy, I don't think you're moving things in your sleep. I think an entity is in your room and moving things as you sleep.
Right next to you in your bed, not to freak you out more.
But I'll respond to your email. I think setting intentions, clearing your space, maybe even calling upon ancestors in some way. I don't know.
Yeah.
I almost wonder if you want to have Kayla come with you and help, like be with you.
Mm.
The power of a spooky duo,
Mm-hmm.
you and Kayla, and just like banish whatever it is.
Yeah. And maybe, I don't know if you connect to crystals at all, but like some black obsidian or something next to your bed. That could be a good one.
Yeah. But
doing the ribbon wrapping technique every night before you go to sleep.
Totally. With all that, we will also say a couple of words of protection to all of you who are listening, but specifically the entity that is fucking with our girl Mandy. Stop. Just stop.
Intention set. Boundary set.
Walls are up. Get the fuck out. We hate you. Mandy,
don't give it energy.
No.
I'm from saying the hatred.
It's like, boy, bye. That's the energy I'm giving it.
We don't think about you at all.
You're so unimportant to us. We actually only think about Mandy, who we love and is surrounded by love, light, protection. We, in the astral plane, are protecting you while we sleep. I'm sending my energy to you. And any of the spirits around us who are good, who have love and light to offer, we send you to Mandy. We send you to any of the listeners who are in need to offer more protection and banish anything with ill intent. Ooh, you got a nice little rhythm to that one. And the end.
The end. Oh, I wish we had like the Looney Tunes, like,
it just did a little circle. Jamie could probably do it. I wish we had like a close the book, like a big book where it's like,
where we're in front of the fireplace with our like red velvet robe on, our giant grimoire.
Are you Santa Claus reading stories before
I have my
Christmas?
whiskey next to me. Yeah, exactly.
Your white beard is like itching you.
What
Beautiful.
A dream. Beautiful.
Wonderful cover girl. We love you all, and we hope you aren't possessed. But if you are, or if you have been, email it to us.
You know what to do.
2girlswhoreghostpodcast@gmail.com. If you want episodes 1 week early and ad-free, join us on Patreon. Plus, there are a couple exciting things and changes happening on Patreon. So definitely go check us out there if you want to be in the know. And hope you survived this episode.
Happy Halloween season. Spooky season.
Yes, our favorite. We love it.
We love you all. Shout out to Jamie and shout out to Emma, our 2 team members who we love so dearly.
Yes. We love you all so much.
And we will see you on the other side.